Okay, so it appears that we are live. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And I actually need to reload this game because I was reloading an autosave, which is basically I just let the game sit there for like a few hours while I was checking stuff out. I can't remember exactly what I was checking out, but yeah, as you can see, we've got a few changes this stream. First of all, we are using my new computer, which means we're streaming in 4K, which is awesome. Yeah. So that is the biggest thing, and I had a whole bunch of testing to actually get 4K working yesterday, and finally did get it working, which was great, but I had to switch over from XSplit to OBS in order to get that happening, because XSplit it just couldn't do 4K at 60 FPS. It could stream it, but once it finished uploading, YouTube would always crack it back down to 30 FPS. So there's something wrong with the way it was being uploaded or something like that. So finally I switched over to OBS, and now it is all good. So what have we been doing in Factorio? Not much, because we haven't played it for a week, but what are we doing today is, well, we've got sulfuric acid done. It's all good, it's all running, and the next step is mineral catalyst. And we did set up these faster bulk inserters, but we are just waiting on the steel, I believe, to come through. What are you guys waiting on? Yeah, you're waiting on the steel gear wheels, which are waiting on the steel. So yeah, steel is slowly coming in. There is a slightly larger problem kind of in the making, which I saw by letting it run ahead, and that is the sulfuric acid. So our wastewater is going down because we're not really using that much carbon. That is basically going to slowly stop whatchamacallit, it's going to stop bots and stop accumulators from coming out. But having said that, we've got the vast majority of our accumulators already. So if sulfuric acid starts to slow down a bit, I mean, we're going to stop building bots. We got almost 1600 and we're only using 500 of them, so that's not too bad. One of the other things I wanted to check is this. So this is not working because of batteries, which is fine. This is not working because it's expecting silicon wafers, and we're giving it monosilicon. I think this is monosilicon, right? Yeah, we're giving it monosilicon, expecting silicon wafers. I don't know when that recipe changed, because here's the thing. We have created thousands of solar panels already. We've already created them, and we created them using this setup. So this setup was working at some point, and I don't know when it stopped working, is the thing. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do this, and this is going to be monosilicon off to the right. So steel will continue running to the left. And we're just going to put a little thing. And it's a slight annoyance, but in reality, it's actually really good for us because you get 6 silicon wafers for 1 monosilicon. So that makes solar panels a lot easier to create. Although they probably went up from 6 silicon wafers, 6 monosilicon to 36 silicon wafers. So it's probably a moot point, but 1.8 monosilicon, 7.2, so we should still be fine. Alright, now we need to drain all of the monosilicon off this belt. And we should be good. And that will get our solar panels back on track. There's not much getting our accumulators back on track, but then again, I mean, if we have a look at our power, it's pretty solid. Actually, that's not pretty solid. It's only very at the end of the day that it actually finally finishes doing all the accumulators. Although having said that, a lot of that's because of our roboports. We have, of course, kicked off a lot of jobs. Robots building all of this. Robots building all of that. They're starting to run a little bit low on roboports as well. Which is fault of this, which is the fault of steel bearing and steel gear wheel. Okay. Alright, something clearly changed in the background. I'm not sure. Here's the thing, right? This is a new computer. So when I got a new computer, it had to download everything from scratch, including all the mods. So I'm guessing there's been a change in some of the mod versions, which has resulted in some of these recipes being broken. So we're just going to repair them as we go through, but having this one switch over to steel bearing and steel gear wheels is a bit of a kick to the nuts, because steel is not something we have in huge supply here. And unfortunately I have a little bit of a cough this morning, but thankfully we've got the push to mute button, so we should be fine. Alright. Let's have a look. So we'll do a nice power pole here. So you need steel bearing and steel gear wheels. That's slightly annoying. Pick up from here, pick up from there. And we're going to need... Yeah, we're getting all the spaghetti going here. It's absolutely magical. Pick up. So that's going to get steel. It's going to do our ball bearings. Shift L, Shift L. Yep. That produces a lot, so these inserters are going to be very slow, but that gets us steel bearings, and then Shift L, Shift L. Alright, so that fixes that problem. And we got a mess of electric poles here, but if I move this over by one, beautiful. Hits everything. Okay, that's good to know. So, yeah. So it's just a lack of steel at the moment. And we should run out of sulfuric acid pretty soon as well, but steel is the main thing I'm worried about. Now, we do have a decent amount of steel in here. These guys are running pretty much full speed. Yeah, that's pretty much full speed. Like, that's 3 full yellow belts of saffirite ore that's coming in full speed. I mean, yeah, and that's as much as we could really contribute with the patch we've got left, which is 807k. So we try and put more in there, we're going to run into problems. So what we're probably going to do is we're going to start... We're basically just going to continue working on the mega base. At some point we will end up with iron ore. Pure iron ore made using mineral catalysts, and at that point we will use this new setup that I built, and we'll have a station over here, and we'll offload the iron ore over here, and we can destroy most of this, and we can thread a whole bunch of iron ore directly into these steel setups, maybe have a couple more. And eventually we'll even be able to just put steel directly on this from the mega base, and then we'll be absolutely fine. Alright, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this stream, which is going to be the mineral catalyst. So let's start off. We already did clear a lot of the trees here, but let's clear a bunch more. Thankfully, our little bots are going to do that as well, and then come over and fill up my inventory. So let's have a look. Mineral catalyst. Take mineral sludge. Let's actually use here. Mineral catalyst. Take mineral sludge is the other recipe. And this one, we're not going to worry about crystal slurry. The rest of these are. So it's going to be slag slurry and the coal filter. Slag slurry takes either slag or crushed stone. So we don't have slag in the system at the moment, and we don't have crushed stone in the system at the moment. Which kind of makes this a bit of a catch-22. But I do have a plan for how to handle this, and you are absolutely going to love it. So let's go ahead. We're going to move this down one, because otherwise we're just going to hit the lake there. And we're going to put a straight rail here. And then we're going to put a station here. Oh. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all the crushed stone off here. And we're going to feed it in directly into a station. And that'll keep the mineral catalyst going for a while until we've got our actual sorting stations over here, our actual crushing stations, and then the crushing stations will produce a massive amount of crushed stone, and we will be able to use those for the actual mega base. But to get us kick-started, we can use that. So that'll take a little while to get done, but we'll just have to wait for that. Meanwhile, let's actually go back. So mineral sludge, so we need coal, because this is just using the same filter frames over and over again. So we need coal, purified water, make on site, sulfuric acid, and crushed stone. And we put a slag station in there as well. But anyway. So let's get started. Fluid train unload. We're going to make this sulfuric acid. I don't think we've got trains for that yet, but that's fine. And I think it's just solids from here on in. Station unload. Let's get a coal train. And then we just need crushed stone. Where is crushed stone going to be? It's in one of these, isn't it? I really don't know. Crushed stone. Oh, it was down here. I just didn't see it. Alright. We're going to have 2 stations for crushed stone. I still can't see it. It looks like... Oh, it's all the way down here, isn't it? 2 stations for crushed stone. 1 station for slag. I'm pretty sure slag is here. And as you can see, because we use the upgrade planner on the blueprints, we've already got the fast bulk inserters automatically in there. So that's beautiful. Still a little bit low on the roboports, but hopefully they'll eventually catch up once... Well, steel is not going to get better, to be honest. Steel is just going to stay terrible, but it is what it is. We can't really fix that at the moment. Worst comes to worst, we might tap another sapphirite location later on. But anyway. Alright, well that's good for now. So one annoying thing about these blueprints is you always have to get rid of this big electric pole. We could just get rid of that in the station, but then again it's in the normal blueprint, and I have to get rid of it on all 4 sides, which would break the blueprint, so we're not going to do that. Alright. It just never quite reaches. Alright, so coal we're going to need barely any for the filters. We're going to try and balance this around having 2 full belts of crushed stone. Well, technically what we need... Alright, let's have a look at iron ore. So if we want 4 full belts of iron ore, which we do, I mean, we definitely do want 4 full belts of iron ore. And probably another, you know, let's have a look for a mega base. Let's say for a mega base, we want 4 full belts of iron ore. We're going to say 4 full belts of copper ore, 2 belts of tin, 1 belt of lead. That's already pushing up to 12, and we're going to need a bunch more mineral catalysts after that for other resources. Although some of them will require crystal catalysts. So let's just say 12 full belts of ore, which means 3 full belts of mineral catalyst. That's a lot. Alright, so let's do the math. Alright. So 2 becomes 25. That's a 1-to-1. 25. That's not great. That's a terrible, 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 terrible ratio. So, alright, so it's basically, so multiplying by 12.5, well, that's a 1-to-1, multiplying by 12.5, divided by 2, 6.25, that means for 3 full belts of mineral catalyst, we need approximately 20 full belts of crushed stone. Or... $20 full belts of crushed stone, or 4 full belts of slag. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Alright, we're gonna have to revisit this a little bit. So we definitely need the mineral catalyst. No other way of making it. We need mineral sludge. Alright, so we can get it, save a little bit later on with ceramic filters. Thermal water, we can save a lot of it later on. Thermal water. So later on we can get the thermal water in, and we've got thermal water deposits right up here, which is very nice. But we can ship some in later. Alright, so let's talk about slag slurry for a second. So it's just these 2. Now you can convert... Where is it? Well, you can get this from water. That's the C block recipe that everybody knows and loves. I thought there was a way of... There's a way of turning slag into crushed stone. I thought for a second there was a way of doing the opposite, but no. Okay, so crushed stone. 1 slag into 2 crushed stone, that's definitely not worth it. Yeah, okay. I think what we're going to have to do here is we're just going to have to live with the crushed stone and the slag being terrible for making the mineral catalyst. And then later on we're going to have to get some research. Either crystal slurry, or more likely we're just going to have to go and start hitting thermal water in a big way. I think that's going to have to be what we do, having the thermal water be our way. And we can start getting thermal water from other places as well, if this turns out to start running out. But yeah, there's a bunch more down there. But for now, we'll just do it the kind of backwards way. Yeah. If we have a look, we've alright, here's the thing, right? Let me do some more maths here. So iron ore, crushed. So we're going to be having 4 full belts of this. So we're going to have, just from sapphire ore, we're going to have 2 full belts of crushed stone. Alright. We may want... Can I do this? Can I just station unload and just reset that to be crushed stone? Hopefully I can. And another crushed stone. We're going to have 4 crushed stone stations and 1 slag station. Because I was worried we weren't going to have enough crushed stone, but then I had a look and I realized we're going to have way too much crushed stone. So, yeah. We need to make this big. We need to make this so it actually uses a lot of crushed stone. So 4 crushed stone stations, and this may be one of the first places where we actually start upgrading these to red belts. Okay. Apparently YouTube is saying my bitrate is way too high. I recommend that you use a Steam bitrate of 13,500. I'm using 51,000 at the moment. That's okay. 4K, 60 FPS, you definitely need the big frame rate. Oh, we've already got a train with coal. Very nice. Alright, so let's start designing it while we wait for all of this mess to get done. They're almost done with here. They're waiting on roboports. How's our roboports looking? Very, very backed up on steel. This thing, the steel cost of the hatch doors has just gone through the absolute roof. It's incredible. Which kind of sucks, but then again, we're just going to let that slow roll. Oh, we got we've got a few bulk inserters showing up. Very nice. So normal is just under 4, gone up to just over 17. So that's a huge impact. Alright. So we got 4 crushed stone stations. Let's start working on those. So doom. Slag slurry. Alright, so these are just going to use the liquefiers. And I don't think we're going to need too many liquefiers, to be honest. Let's have a look here. Let's just try something like that. So this is... Oh, okay, so this is coal. So we'll send that off to the side. You are going to be 12.5 per second. And this belt is 15, so 2 of them is beautiful. Those are not good inserters. We're going to need better inserters than that. Okay, well, I did put both types of inserters on the bus. Okay, so we can start using the fast inserters, which should give us exactly what we need. Let's put them here, and let's put the bulk ones here. Okay, that definitely does it. So that'll rip apart this entire belt, and that'll put out that stuff. And we don't need the coal filter yet, do we? But we do need the sulfuric acid. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. So now we just copy and paste that a few times. And there we go. Absolutely demolishing 4 full belts of crushed stone. Probably will be upgraded to red belts, in which case we just double this setup. We can actually just do that now if we really want to. Yeah, just go ahead and then we can upgrade these to red belts whenever we want, and already taken it into account. It's beautiful. Alright, here's the thing actually. 12 point... So these will be 30. We don't actually need the 4th one. We just need 3 to handle a red belt. Alrighty, so... And we might as well have one here. This is going to be for slag. Okay, these are significantly slower. But that's alright. Probably keep chaining these up a bit further, but I'm not sure we're going to be actually piping slag into here for a good long while, so probably not urgent to worry about that at the moment. Alright, give me one of these, thank you very much. Alright, and that gives us a whole bunch of this stuff, so let's build it based on red belts, because why not? So 20, so 30, so 12.5 becomes 25, so 30 will become 60. So we got 60, 240, not including the slag, we got 240 per second. And how do we get the next level? Mineral sludge. Mineral sludge we get using a filtration unit. Okay, those are almost certainly not built yet. But that shouldn't be too hard. Filtration unit. I'm never going to find this. Oh, it's right here. Okay, beautiful. Well, we've got the materials to make that, so that's a good thing. Maybe we can just make them up here. Nice. It's reasonably close to the coal. And what did we say we had? 240. 240. So this takes 18.7. God damn it. Alright, 18.7. We're going to have to get the calculator out. Because you just couldn't do things nicely, could you? 240 divided by 18. It's probably 18.7. Why is my calculator not working? I don't have num lock on. 240 divided by 18.75. Approximately 13. So that means well, first of all, we need to figure out this thing. We're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And a space of 2 should be enough, and that's 14 machines. That should be fine. And then we do, so this is going to be empty filter frames go out here. And then we have a machine up here. I'm not sure how many machines we actually will need, but we'll just have one to start off with, but we might need more. Right. And then that is going to be where our coal comes in. And we just need a power pole, and then we are good to go. Alright. So the full ones are on the inside of the belt, and the big ones are on the outside of the belt. Okay. And then we just need a power pole. And I'm actually going to move this setup slightly because I don't want it to be encroaching on the other setup. Really don't want that. what we could do, if we wanted to be fancy, just reuse the same splitter. Alright, no, hold up a sec. Alright, so we want the full ones to be on the inside. So it means these ones all need to be near inserting. Okay, almost screwed that up. Okay, so we got this inserter set up. These need to be vertically flipped. All of these so the pipes match up. And then like so. And this one, we just horizontally flip it. And probably need a power pole in the middle somewhere. Okay, that's good. That's very, very solid. Alright, so these guys require the same amount of purified water as they do slag slurry. So yeah. Let's get some. I'm gonna put the filter frames in personally. I'm just gonna run over there and drop like 1,000 of them in there, which should be fine. So purified water, we said we had 240 coming in, so we need 240 purified water. How much do you guys do? 150. Okay, so 2 is fine. 2 is absolutely fine. Like so. And then of course we need a clarifier for the waste. Somewhere around here. I do love this sort of working in remote, sort of letting the bots do everything sort of deal. It's very nice. Right. You guys will go out a long way. And we'll just get regular pipes in here. Regular pipes everywhere for everything. And that's the good thing about reversing them vertically, is everything just lines up. So they'll take care of all of that stuff. We also need to thread in the slurry. Is it slurry? Is it? I really don't know, to be honest. Whatever it is, we need to get it in there. Alright. Might as well just... I've kind of... Here's the thing. Alright, I think we're going to move this a little bit, because we need to remember this is going to be a mega base. And mega bases, eventually these are going to be green belts. So we need to leave room for these guys to sort of expand, to be able to expand. So I think... what we're going to do is we're going to take this entire setup and move it just a little bit over here. And then you guys get to move as well. Just a little bit right over here, actually. Nice and close. Encroaching a little bit on a nearby tile, which might be a little bit annoying when we start laying down solar panels, but it's still okay. Alright, you need to be removed. Do I have landfill somewhere? I think we're definitely making landfill, but I'm not sure if we're making landfill in a place that the robots have access to it. I don't think we are. Lay that down. And I do get a bit nervous about putting down a water pump before this is actually... Because sometimes you do that, you put down a water pump before the thing's actually been water filled, and it just doesn't pump. It just doesn't like to pump. But anyway. Alright, now the coal is really far out of the way. But that's alright. Kind of... Well, we're not digging into this area. Although these tanks are digging into this area. That's alright. We're going to have plenty of room for a solar. While I'm here... Have I got stone anywhere nearby, close? I know I'm making landfill in a bunch of different places, but they're all like way out in the middle of nowhere. I don't particularly want to stretch any sort of robot networks. Oh, okay, here we go. Pick up landfill. Now we've got plenty of stone here, but still I'm going to constrain this to just be one, because I don't want too much of this going all over the place. Alright, so that takes care of landfill. This entire setup is good, except we're not automating the filtration units, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. So, alright, so this is sulfuric acid. Don't need those at the moment. Ooh. Those need to be moved up one. So of course we don't have a train yet for sulfuric acid, which is why it's not being produced yet. Okay, now we actually need to pipe this across. It's on the close pipe. That is looking pretty beautiful. Now, we actually do have a sulfuric waste byproduct here, which is very interesting. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a fluid train load here, and that's going to be sulfuric wastewater. Is it on this tab? Not quite on this tab. It's here. And then we're going to make this train 90 priority. Whereas this one, these ones are both 50. This one is 90 because we definitely want it, because this is a byproduct. Technically this is a byproduct as well, but this is a bigger byproduct. So we're going to set that to 90 and we're going to, yeah. So basically, we will need a way to sort of throw it away as well if we produce too much of it, but... Oh, there's actually a power pole right in the middle of that. Okay, well, we don't need you. Definitely don't need you. Alright. And then I'll get these filtration units automated in a second, but... Actually, I'll get them automated now. Why not? There'll be a nice place over here, won't there? Getting close to this bobmonium, which I want to tap this bobmonium, don't I? That's actually an important place. So we should probably stop sending stuff up here. Righty, filtration units. Of course they need steel. Of course they need steel. We have to start another line down here. Okay. And we have to start another steel line as well. Can this one reach? Or it can. Beautiful. And beautiful, I can fit all the way over there. So that's steel. So that's going to be steel pipes. And that is going to be filtration unit level 1s, which require... Ooh, that's a bit messy. Okay. And green circuits. Okay, we can just... Well, that's a little bit awkward. But still eminently doable. Okay, alright. And that should be that. Green circuits, steel pipes, clay bricks, steel plates. Okay. I think that's done. We're just going to leave that for now, and it should be working once. Well, we've got a bit of steel, but... Wow, steel is steel really dying? I'm not sure that it is. Doesn't look like it. We got no backups anywhere. This stuff going through. We might want to start redirecting all the crushed stone from all of these places over to our brand new train station. Once it gets made, which the thing that's stopping it getting made from now is ironically the steel for the roboports, because we're just so dead on steel. So dead. And I'm still not sure that just letting it sit and wait and slow roll is a great idea, but once we get iron ore, we can start actually fixing it up. It'll be awesome, but we just gotta get iron ore done in the mega base, and we're slowly getting towards it. We're slowly getting there. Alright. I mean, after this, it's literally just one more station to get iron ore. Once we finish this one, it's just one more station. That's it. That's all it is. Okay. Alright. While we're sort of messing around, let's get a few trains. Where's my trains? They're here, aren't they? 1, 2, 3. And fluid wagons, 1, 2, 3. They're pretty much all automated. So those will be for sulfuric acid. We could get some crushed stone, but we can't actually set up the crushed stone ones at the moment because we don't have a loading station for crushed stone yet, because we're still waiting. We may have to do some emergency repairs on steel and just sort of go in and just repair them. Alright, let's finish off this. Alright, so we got the purified water. We're going to have 50 mineral sludge, so it's a total of 240 mineral sludge, and that gets done in these crystallizer ones, which take pretty much the same ingredients. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so let's get a crystallizer one. Kind of building things off to the side here. We should build things off to this side now. And just have 1, 2, 3. So what are you doing? 75. Okay. So that's officially enough for a full yellow belt. So alright, 75, what's 240 divided by 75? I can't quite do that in my head. 240 divided by 75 is 3.2, times 6 is 19.2. So 4 of these gives us just over 1 yellow belt. That's just terrible. That is just absolutely terrible. But anyway, we'll take it. We'll take it at this point. But we're going to have to do something about this. I don't know what we're going to do about it, to be honest. But yeah, we're just going to need to rely on having a buttload of crushed stone, upgrading these belts, so on and so forth, until finally we have enough. So, station load. And that is going to be mineral catalyst. And then, of course, dragging that across there. I'd actually like to move it down here so that we're not interfering with this area. It's not impinging on this one, just not quite impinging on that one, which is nice. Okay, that's that pipe, and then we already set up this train. A little bit awkward because the train's facing the opposite direction, but that was the only way we could squeeze it into the station. Squeeze it into the area we needed anyway. And we'll probably set up some sort of thing like this. We can actually use this exactly if we really wanted to. These are 1200. I don't think we really need to worry about that too much. Let's just get this set up as well. And put that right there. Vertical flip. Make sure that's hooked up to power. Alright. So if it's more than 24k sulfuric wastewater, then we throw it away. Beautiful. Alright. Let's get... Oh, my trains... The trains are good to go. Alright. Sulfuric acid. There's a lot of acid in this game, apparently. Sulfuric acid. Go to... That's interesting. Alright. Hold up a sec. Angel's liquid. We're gonna... Alright, we're gonna go fix that. Not sure how that happened. But I definitely don't want that to be hanging around. I'm going to blame that on the updated mod as well. Sulfuric acid. Okay, better. Better, much better. And then the unload station. It's looking good. Alright. Let's just double check to make sure they're the same. Stations. They're not the same. Unload. Load. Okay, so this is sulfur dioxide. And I think this one's sulfuric acid. Alright, let's just go through and manually fix these guys up. I may have screwed this one up. Because there's like a few different sulfuric acid. Okay. Angels, petrochems. Acid. There's two of them. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be that one. If we have a look over here, there's definitely this... God damn it, I hate this game. Sometimes I just hate this game. It's like it's sulfuric acid. I do not... This is one of the things... It's actually bothered me a lot with Bob's Angel, because I remember it being like this in the past as well. Producing sulfuric acid, but the label would be different. But here's the thing. Look, here, it's saying that. So the icon's at the top left. So the icon's at the top left, so the icon's at the top left. Alright, so we're just going to have to... Because that's the actual good, we're just going to use the one with the icon at the top left. Even if the building says something different. Because otherwise it's just going to be confusing. Alright, sulfuric acid. What did I use over here? Icon at the top left. Icon at the top left. Do we have any of these things that are wrong? I don't think so. I don't think liquids actually use the actual signal in anywhere other than the train stop. Okay. Alright, now we get the unload. And we need to fix this. To use the proper one. Sulfuric acid. Okay, beautiful. That was very annoying. It's still very annoying, but... make sure we're using the right one. Sulfuric acid. Okay. Add station. Sulfuric acid load till you're full. Sulfuric acid unload until you're empty. It might be a good idea to stop using symbols for the actual train group names, because we might start to get into serious problems with namings. Like, so we'll end up with, you know, as long as these symbols match this symbol, it doesn't really matter too much. We might try and create a new sulfur dioxide train and accidentally create a new sulfuric acid train, but that's okay. We've got some nice pumping speed happening here off these little pumps. I think, is these the Mark II pumps? No, they're just the Mark I pumps. I think they're just the Mark I pumps. Anyway, we've got some sulfuric acid. Still waiting on these inserters. They're taking a million years because of... How are we still missing landfill? God. Missing a passive provider. Did I not automate those? Maybe I never automated those. Let's just go over it and set it up. Oh, what do you know? It's low on steel. Of course it is. Constrain that chest, please. Okay. That'll take care of a few things. And now we've got these as well. These crystallizers. You know what? I'm gonna... Oh, yeah, whatever. We're going to... make them right here. Should be able to make them using pretty much exactly the same components. Get a nice chest there. Pick up. Yeah, that's got everything it needs. Alright, beautiful. So, we got some sulfuric acid in the system. All these guys have their sulfuric acid, and we just need a lot of... Okay. We have not made a single bit of progress here. These roboports are just killing us. They're absolutely killing us. It's probably getting the roboports done for this section first, because this is the first one I created. Alright. Assuming that we're not going to make it to iron ore, because... I mean, technically we've got all the infrastructure. Like, I could make iron ore here. Like, that would be a decent place to make iron ore. So we've got the stations already ready for iron ore to be made. All we just need is a few more to create some roboports, and that's it. All these are starting to look a little bit dodgy, starting to look a little bit empty. What are we down to? 7. In the space of this stream, we've gone down 100,000 sapphirite. That is pretty huge. And we're still using a bit of iron, but it's just... Look at all these empty belts. Okay, there's a lot of empty belts. Solder, electronic circuits. What is going on here? What's going on here? Oh, you just solder. Okay, solder is dead. Why is solder dead? Not enough lead? We got plenty of lead. Okay. That's just an update issue. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong thing. Is that the wrong thing? Molten solder. Alright, so we don't want molten... Hold up a sec. That's the recipe we want. Sorry, I had the wrong one selected for a second. Yeah, okay. Molten solder. Why did that get turned off? I have no idea. But at least it's not a crippling lack of some product that we just didn't have. Okay, so we've actually got solder coming down the line now. This is molten lead. Flush that out. Thank you very much. Okay, we're good to go. Yeah, a new computer. Just downloaded a whole bunch of new versions of the mod and broke a couple of things. Alright, let's think about this a bit more seriously. What do we do about this? We're kind of... If we really need more steel. I think the only thing we really can do, like that sapphirite I just want to save for this. There's really no other sapphirite. There's a sapphirite ore all the way over there. We could tap that and just send it down with belts. That's ugly. That's a terrible idea. That's the worst idea I've ever had. Okay, well, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. God damn it. God damn it. We just really need to get... Alright, how many robot plots are we actually missing? Well, it says we're missing 5. We're probably missing more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 23. 23 roboports. Alright, we could steal some steel over here. The thing is to manually make a roboport. Takes 106. So we need over 2,000 steel. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do output priority left. Send every single bit of steel into this location. And there's nothing being made on this line which is not being used for roboports. And roboports are being completely made using things on this line. Now, green circuits are also dead and solder is also dead, but we've fixed solder up, so that should fix green circuits up, so green circuits are no longer an issue. Batteries are still dead, but we talked about that. We're not going to worry too much about it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to prioritize the steel into this particular area. And we're going to use that to get these roboports out. And probably going to be a lot of rails as well, which are going to need... Where's our rail build? We got plenty of rails. Tons of rails. And these guys only need 1 steel for 2 rails, so it's not too bad. They're using a little bit of steel, but not that much. Is the roboports, which are really just absolutely doing my head in. Really need some logistics robots. I know I said that last stream, but logistics robots will take steel, and now it does not seem like a great time to actually do anything. I got 3 of these already set up, which is nice. A few of these already set up, which is nice. None of these inserters, which is why the coal still hasn't been offloaded. But yeah, I mean, this is all set up to work properly. We could go over there and fetch over some filter frames, actually. While we're waiting for the steel to sort of fix itself up. I didn't do wood. God damn it. Filter frames take steel as well. Are you shitting me? This is... I thought they were just iron. Just like... Alright, how much steel do we have in the logistics? We've got 1,000. Where is all this steel? This random steel. Can we actually... Can it actually show us? I mean, I don't think we have... I don't think we have too many other locations other than this. I wouldn't have thought so anyway. Where is the... There is a way to locate stuff, isn't there? Search, steel. Oh. Okay, it's down there. Alright. There is a way to locate it. Whole bunch of random crap in here. Right. Let's take all of that steel and we'll use that to make the filter frames. Let's get rid of some of this crap that we just absolutely do not need. Solder. And we're not actually getting rid of it. It's not really going anywhere, but let's pick up some iron plates. And we're just going to use up all of this steel to make filter frames. This only creates one filter frame, right? Yeah. It's not... Some of these recipes are kind of like, oh, you get 10 filter frames. Okay. Per 10 filter frames when you do one construction, and you kind of just end up with an overwhelming amount of filter frames because you had no idea it created so many. But in this one, it just looks like a one-to-one, so that should be fine. Now, let's grab our car and go over for a bit of a drive. No fuel. I've got fuel everywhere. And this, I think this is actually the first time that we've actually driven out into the mega base. We've done everything remotely before, so... Usually it's a bad sign when you have to drive directly into the mega base, but in this one particular case, it is not. Ow. This is why I usually... This is one of the reasons I usually clear the entire mega base of rocks and trees. Looks like our bots are all done with what they can do at the moment. No, that's sulfuric acid. That is sulfuric acid. Here we go. So we go into this chest. We're going to sit here for a while because we are making them by hand. And that is taking a while. Yeah, that's fine. We do everything by remote anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so the rest... We got 1 hour left in the stream. We're going to spend the entire hour trying to deal with steel. So what's the solution? The best solution, I would say, is we get sapphirite ore on a train, and then we just start shipping it off here. And then we build a couple more of these. And then suddenly we're doubling our steel. The problem with that is we actually need these stations built, and they're not being built because they don't have enough roboports. Although our roboport production has gone up significantly. See, being built, being built, being built. Okay. So I think maybe we give it a few minutes and we see if this fixes itself, because with the redirecting of the steel into the roboports, we have increased our spread quite fast in terms of getting those roboports out there. Yeah, you only need a stack of 1. You go up to 10? A stack of 2. Okay, a stack of 2. Alright, well this is starting to get very, very, very tedious. So I think we'll just set up a temporary thing. All the iron and the steel goes in there. And all the filters go in there. Okay. There we go. Now we can go away. Because, not that we needed to go away. Doesn't really matter. Is this working? It is. working. Sometimes it doesn't. I think I mentioned that before. You put down the water fill and then you put down the pump before the water fill has actually been finished off, and it just sometimes it just doesn't work. Alright, so I guess this is our new spot that we're just going to sit in for. Alright, so let's start off with assuming that rail station down the bottom left is going to be finished pretty quickly. Well, now that we've got the rover ports no longer holding things up, it should be finished off reasonably quickly. So the next step, just to give ourselves some options, is we're going to put mines everywhere on the Saphirite deposit. We're going to fully mine that off, connect that to the train network, to the mega base, and 4 belts. We're going to create 4 belts, which is... it doesn't seem like a lot. The mega base is going to turn that into 8 belts of iron, though, which is going to be huge, but... yeah. Oh, look at that, 2,000 wood. Get rid of all of that. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. What are we looking for? We do have these extremely fancy mining drills, but we're not going to use those. Saphirite's a little bit further out. We do have mining drills in the network over here. And normally I would say we just stretch out the roboports, but roboports are kind of at a premium at the moment. I can't believe I have 8 in my inventory. These are all working themselves out though. These are all looking good. So I think maybe we'll stretch it out. Just to make it easier. We could just do this. Let the bots completely handle it. Let the bots completely do it remote. Okay. So, station load. You are going to be Saphirite. Or Saphirite. Or Saphirite. Or and Saphirite ore. I'm not sure about that actually. Because here we go. We got 16 stations here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we should have 20 stations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright. And I kind of want to make them line up. So in this case, the top 4 are Givelite, and then that means the next 4 are Saphirite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one becomes the Saphirite. And this one becomes the Saphirite. That way we don't have this huge mess of belts overlapping each other. Okay. Scan, get rid of the power pole. Got these. They're not quite... some of them are being created. Some of them are. That's nice. That's not too bad. How's 669k? It's going down so fast. It's incredible. This patch is dying. Like this one, 2.5, 1.4, 1.7, 1.2. They're not doing too bad, but the Sapphire is dying so fast. We really need this station to get up and running pretty soon. But I think it should. I think all the other roboports have been placed. Like this one has been finished. These guys have been finished. We could extend and put another station here, but obviously I'm going to delay that now because I don't want to use up roboports, but... yeah. Okay. What's our robot usage like? Oh, we're up to 2,000. Hello. Actually finished off producing all these robots. Probably with all of that steel. Oh, and we've finished off... we've got enough roboports. Well, I say we've got enough. It's only sending a couple over here, but then once it puts them down and it gets it powered up, then it'll need a bunch more. So we'll let it keep getting priority access. Let's go over here. Let's actually walk over and let's give them help, because we got some roboports in our inventory and we can speed this up a fair bit. It's quite interesting. I've never had it before in YouTube where it actually complains that I'm giving it too much bitrate. Recommend that you use a stream bitrate of 13,500. We're giving it way more than that. But that's okay. That's it. Robots go off and power poles and roboports and all sorts of fun stuff. Okay. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And this roboport will actually get rid of. But the other roboports, not quite going to be enough, actually. Let's go ahead. We'll put this guy down here. And we'll stretch out a power pole like that and get rid of this power pole. And we should be good. Get rid of that one. Put that one down there. Oh, that one's already connected by the looks of it. Alright, now we can do a straight right to left. Send the minerals out. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's see how this goes. That's a nice chunk of miners to start off with. I don't think it's going to be quite enough because this is a very big patch, but we can give it a good crack. And then on the top side as well. And how are we doing here? I think they cover that. There's no little bits of loose mineral up above. Like so, like so, like so. Like so, and like so. I think that's it. And that should be it. A little bit of cleaning here and there. This power pole is definitely still required. These power poles definitely are not. Actually, maybe they are. Ooh. What will actually no, this one connects directly to that one, so that's fine. So we can get rid of a lot of these. The robots are already on their way to fill in a whole bunch of these, so that's fine. That one's... I just like being clean with a lot of this stuff, so I like cleaning up all these little edges of belts and stuff like that. Alright. 10 belts. So we need a 10 to 4 balancer. Not from that blueprint book. This one. Do we have a 10 to 4? We got a 10 to 8. Alright. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get an 8 to 4. Put it up like that. Over there. Convert it down. Now these two lanes are very much going to be absolutely crap. So we're just going to convert them down to basically nothing. Convert them down. And they can share a single belt with this one up here. And so on and so forth. Underground under the Roboport, I'm absolutely okay with that. And it's nice just putting down like a good old mining base. That's going to go outside Roboport range, but that's fine. I never like sort of lining these guys up. It's very, very dodgy to do. I may just go over and do this by hand. We could also just put another Roboport up here. You know what? We're going to have to hit this Jivalite at some point. So we'll just do that. Yeah. Going to have to get its power from the top side, but that's okay. And look at my little bots go. Clear this off as well. The bots can take care of that. So the bots are really complaining about the bulk in servers at the moment. They've probably been completely starved of steel at this point, like just 0 steel getting up here. How are we looking? Seeing some progress made. 2 Roboports being made there. So we need a total of 10 for that area. And a few more for that area. Where's our Roboports being made? Only 2 being picked up. Are we running out of... Yeah, we're starting to run out of robots. All of this stuff I've asked them to do is really, really taxing them. But these belts should all be within the range of the new Roboport. So theoretically, we can just sit back and let this happen. Let it go away. So we're going to line up a few more trains here. 3. So I think these will... A few of them will be crushed stone. 3 of them will be crushed stone. Although crushed stone is going to be one of the groups where we have more than just 3 trains. I think 3 trains is going to be our default for every item. But some are obviously going to have way more than 3 trains. Like iron ore probably is going to have 6 or 9 or something like that. And then crushed stone obviously could have God knows how much. Could have a lot. A lot. Oh, if only the inserter got placed here, then we could have unloaded this, but it's just going to sit there forever, eternally not being unloaded. Not that it matters, because without crushed stone, these coal filters, at least they'd be rotating around the belt nicely. Oh, we got to do something here, actually. Do we need priority on these guys? You know what? I'm just going to let it run. We'll go back to this. We may have to do like a priority splitter on there or something like that to fix that up. Anyway. So we're going good here. Do mining drills take steel? They don't. Okay, so these electric mining drills should all be taken care of eventually. They're not going to fall over or screw off. But having said that, we're getting reasonably close. We've only got 600 solar panels and 200 accumulators apparently left. So we're getting very close to having this field done, which I'm very happy about. We haven't used coal power in a long time. I believe this is... Have I actually switched this off? Yes, I put a little latch thing to switch this off, and it's currently unlatched, and I believe it's been unlatched for a very long time. Yeah. Every time we spin up the Roboports, the power network starts to suffer a little bit, but we haven't got to the point where we've switched on steam. So I'm still happy about that. And, alright. So, of those 6 trains we just created, we're going to make 3 of them sapphirite and 3 of them crushed stone. And right now we're just waiting for the robots to finish off this area, which they should be doing fairly soon. We got a couple of robots left for this area, but then... Alright, so this one's going to be taken care of. Well, the big problem with these guys is going to be the lack of the fast bulk inserters, which of course are dependent on steel, heavily dependent on steel. So I think I walked over here. Anyway, didn't take my car. So what the thing is that we're going to have to do now is, well, we got 2 choices to fix the steel situation. The first choice is we directly ship the sapphirite ore over and use it to supplement our existing starter base. The second choice is we push forward, we tap this givelite ore here, we make a nice iron ore thing over here using the new mineral catalyst, and then we send the iron ore over here directly. Now the problem with doing that is by the time we finish all that malarkey, there's a good chance that the sapphirite ore deposit will be dead. It's already starting to die, but yeah, it could be 100% dead at that point, which is not great. So, I think there's a lot of bots going over here. They must just all be doing belt-related stuff. Although they're doing it pretty fast, I gotta say. Definitely like that. So I think we have to start with just moving the sapphirite ore back over in the starter base. I don't think we have really a choice over that. It's kind of a waste because putting the sapphirite ore into this dodgy sort of situation where we're just crushing it and then sorting it, very inefficient, extremely inefficient use of the sapphirite in terms of the amount of iron ore we get out at the end of it. I much prefer to do the proper sorting. But the proper sorting requires us to have crushed stone, and the crushed stone needs to be put into a station, and the station hasn't been created yet, and is basically, by the time this finishes getting created, this should still be okay, but I feel a little bit like we're just starting to hit the brakes at the very last second before we smash into a brick wall, and it doesn't make me feel very comfortable. It's a suicide burn. That's what it's called. It's a suicide burn. Speaking of suicide burns, I don't have any belts on me. Give me a whole bunch of belts, please. 1841. That's not 2,000, but it's still, I guess, because the bots were taking up so much of them. So, alright. One of the things we could start doing is we could start taking all this slag and crushed stone and diverting it over to the station, which I think is probably a good idea. It's making so much noise, I'm not really sure. First things first, alright. All these inserters go bye-bye. We'll just start stacking this stuff up, and we'll do the same thing for the slag. God damn it, don't have enough room to pick up inserters. That is just not great. Okay. So these will start stacking up, and what we can do is when this station is finished, we can start sending the crushed stone and the slag over here. We'll have like 2 crushed stone stations, 1 slag station. And there go my bots. Off they go. And we'll do the same thing down here with this crazy station that we had for the crushed stone off the steel. We can stop converting that to stone because the crushed stone is actually becoming quite useful. Stone isn't as useful because We can't convert stone to slag, can we? I don't think so. We can get stone from... What can we do with it? Concrete? No. We can't really convert it into any sort of useful product as far as mineral catalyst is concerned. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Do we want to make this station closer? No, making it closer now would just mean a whole bunch more roboports that we need to produce, which I'm not too happy about. Okay, looks like we're full. We got 10. So it's just down to the roboports, actually. I could grab the 10 and just start moving them over. But actually, that wouldn't be too bad of an idea. That would speed up things considerably. Just grab those 10 roboports, run over there manually, and then just place them all along with a bunch of power poles, and then the robots would finish off that station in record speed. And we need a bunch of really big electric power poles as well to keep that off. Don't smash any power poles. Excellent. $13. Oh, that's beautiful. And 250. Let's get back in it. We can stop this one from being prioritized. Send the steel on down further. Start making those faster bulk inserters that we are desperately slow on. Because let's face it, after we build up the station, nothing is going to work because we've got no fast bulk inserters, and we absolutely need a bunch of them. So that's going to be our next problem. Surprisingly, it still doesn't have a lot of mining drills. It's still slowly going through them, very slowly. But the rest of it is not too bad. Fast bulk inserters, yeah, definitely 90. We may have to start handcrafting them or hand feeding them just to get them over the line. But yeah, next episode, I definitely think we're gonna have a bit of a better episode. Okay. Go on. Will one of you robots please fix my car? Please, pretty please fix my car. Thank you. Alright, now we'll go over, do all the big electric poles, do all the roboports. And that's pretty much all I care about, is the roboports and the big electric poles. And once that is done, the regular robots can come over and can do the rails and the stations and all that sort of crap. And yeah, so the funny thing is, shipping over 4 belts of sapphirite ore is really not going to do that much. I mean, we're using up probably 4 at the moment. So we're using up 1 here, and then 3 here. So we're using up 4. So shipping in 4 is not really going to help us. We can turn that 4 into 8 iron. And then the iron would actually help us more, because here, crushed is 2 to 2, but then the sorting is like 4 to 2. It's 4 to 2, whereas if you do the proper sorting, it's 2 to 4. So right now we're halving it, but if we do the proper sorting with mineral catalyst, we're effectively doubling it. It's insane. Absolutely insane, which is the main reason I really don't want to be... What are you complaining about? Oh, you don't have a rail to sit on. Okay, you're not actually sitting on a rail. Alright. So we should have had a huge wave of robots come over with a whole bunch of rails. We should have anyway. There's plenty of robots to do the job. They've pretty much finished over here, except for a bunch of missing drills. This one's already tapped. Finished off. These ones, as soon as they get built, they should tap this area pretty quickly. But yeah, sapphirite. Alright. So we've finished off with this area. We've got the roboports up. And now we're going to focus Well, actually, let's get some stations down. Let's start setting up some stations. So we're going to do unload station, a very short-lived but still necessary unload station for sapphirite ore, which will hopefully be replaced very soon with an actual iron station, and then eventually we'll actually replace it with like a steel station and stuff. And then we want a load station. We have 2 load stations for we'll have this one for crushed stone, this one for crushed stone, and this one. I thought I had space for another one. Oh, I think I do. Alright. Slag. I put it down, but I didn't select a parameter, but it's still actually placed. Alright, unload those 4. Load. Yep. Okay. Now, the bots will take care of the rails over time. Okay, and we'll take care of... I'll take care of the belts in a few minutes. I want to go and I want to fix up the fast bulk inserters. Give them a bit of attention, because they are really going to be slowing us down quite a lot. And they need a lot of attention. And I'm guessing they're low. Oh, that's not what I like to see. That's really not what I like to see. What has happened? Oh, of course. We're not even... there isn't even a warehouse. These ones will keep going because they got warehouses to slowly fill up, but this one doesn't even. But we got 1.7k of the belts, so we can ship this guy straight over to that new station that we set up. Bye-bye. And you know what? I'm going to stop making this landfill. We'll just leave that stone there. We may find a use for it later, I'm not sure. Let's get the crushed stone moved over there. And what did we say? This... Alright, so the top one is definitely crushed stone. And the second one is definitely crushed stone as well. Alright, so we got 4 things over there. Okay, let's get rid of some trees. And we're just gonna put this guy straight in. Like that. And also gonna feed that one in like that. And then further on over here, we're going to have a balancer. It's going to be like a 5-to-2 balance or something like that. And eventually we'll get all those warehouses at the top of the base and we'll start feeding them in. But for now, we'll just do this. Make absolutely sure that these stations have everything they need. Okay. So now that we've done that... you can be crushed stone, and you can actually start to do your job. Crushed stone load. Currently inaccessible because the robots are still placing rails, but that's fine. We can still set it up. Empty cargo. Refuel and depot. It's going to complain, and then it's just going to go over to the depot because I can't get to the station. I like it. I like it a lot. Crushed stone and crushed stone. We could also set up a slag. Some of these trains are slag trains, but... Well, actually what we could do is this could be our sapphirite ore train. Because I believe I've got both of those. Load... full, and then unload till it's empty, refuel, and depot. And you'll be sapphire ore as well. And you'll be sapphire ore as well. Okay. We're pretty much done except these inserters. These inserters need to be handled. Once they're handled, we just put a few belts out here. Bob's your uncle, and we're in the green again. But those inserters need to be handled. We could downgrade them to yellow inserters, or even just the fast regular inserters to get us over the line. But I kind of want to walk over there and sort of see if we can do anything about it. See if we can just help it out a bit. While we're over there, we'll collect some steel, because I'm like 99.9% sure that they're falling over because of lack of steel. Because everything is just falling over due to lack of steel. It'd be ironic if it's something else, but it's going to be steel. And they're one of the last stops on the main bus as well, so they're getting a fraction of 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 the steel which actually gets put onto the main bus. Which is probably why they're taking so damn long. Because everything else, like batteries got so much steel. Even though they've got... Cannot insert... Alright. We got pretty decent amount of steel. And... let's go over to here. Where are they? They're up here somewhere, aren't they? So you're actually done... 150. Maybe I should be inserting off this. Steel gear wheels. Yeah, okay. They take 5 steel gear wheels, and each one of these takes 2. So it takes 10 steel plate. That's a lot. That's a lot of steel to make these. And these are... what are these? These are 1+1. These are... 1+3. I mean, there's a lot of steel. It's a lot of steel. I suppose it's worth it. Let's just keep shoving all the steel in there. So, 600 steel should be 60 of these guys. I'm not sure if it'll put it in the right place, but we can go grab some more steel and just shove it in there. Keep it going over the line. Oh, so annoying. Normal gear wheels are still 2 to 1. Yeah, steel gear wheels 2 to 1. Not great. These ones, they do take 1 steel gear wheel, but that's it. So this is using a little bit of steel, but not too much. But this one, yeah, it's using a ton of steel. And you are also not using any steel at all. Okay, I appreciate that. Is it out of bronze? We're sending bronze down here, I feel like. No, we're sending steel down here. Okay, I feel like the recipe for this guy changed. Now it needs bronze. We actually... this is bronze over here, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah. Was using steel, now using bronze. We definitely need to fix that up. Okay. We can't double jump that. Where's our bronze? It's all the way down here. That's slightly painful. Did I just accidentally drop that bronze plate onto this conveyor belt? Hopefully not. Always make it a half if you can, because we'll probably need something else on there eventually. Okay, well that sorts that one out. More steel gear. They're probably going to put them on the things in order, which I'm not exactly sure I want. Maybe let's pick some up for ourselves, just so we can make sure that we get them in the right place, because obviously we need them to be offloading the sapphirite ore. We need a little bit of sapphirite going on. Because I'm guessing they're not going to prioritize. Oh, they're still doing a bit here. Okay, that's not bad. But we need to get some over here as well. Surely we must have backed up a lot of the steel in other areas. It's backed up here, it's backed up here. It's not backed up here. Still building roboports. It's not backed up here, making power poles. Alright. Output priority right, output priority right. It's backed up there. Pretty much. Backed up there, pretty much. Not backed up there. Don't need any of those at the moment. Okay. Alright. There we go. We'll leave that as a temporary measure, and that should sort out the rest of these inserters in a reasonable fashion. These guys are in the depot and they're just waiting. Crushed stone and sapphirite and all that good stuff. And yeah, these guys are just waiting for inserters as well. So we've got crushed stone ready to go. Which is probably blocking up our steel again. The irony is we need steel to get these unblocked. Alright, I'm going to go over and sort that out. I didn't expect it to fill up these warehouses. Well, it hasn't filled them up at all, of course, because there's no inserters here. Alright, well, we do have 11 in our inventory, so I feel like that's a very good place to start putting them in. So we don't have that crushed stone, because obviously we don't have that crushed stone going into a station, then we're not actually producing steel and the entire thing falls over. So yeah, let's get those fixed up ASAP. Unfortunately my robots are going to just spit out and put them wherever the hell they want to, which is not great. So, bye-bye robots. And don't drive over the chest containing the robots, please, but yeah. Now I do believe that when you put down... Okay, you've already got one of them, that's nice. To be honest, I'm not sure why these are even fast bulk inserters. They don't really need to be. I mean, eventually we'll want them to be fast bulk inserters. I might as well get one of these stations set up. Yeah, it doesn't... Okay. That'll actually get one of these stations kicked off, which is nice. But the important thing is, we have freed up these belts, and now steel production will begin again. Like new... where did I put those robots? I can't remember anymore. Where did I put that chest? I've lost it. I've lost that chest. No, here it is. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Alright. Those guys up again. Fix my car. Alright. So we're good. I got 1.3k belts. So that should take care of the steel problem, which will, thanks to our belt sorting, should start filtering a lot more steel into here. And eventually the rest of the bulk inserters, the other 80 that we're still waiting on, should get done reasonably quickly. So, let's go ahead and get some belts going for... yeah, we want to clear that out. We want to clear all of that wood out. And might get a train in here sometime pretty soon as well, which would be nice. Right. Cannot insert wood, of course not. And I believe these four are all sapphirite. Let's get a nice little 4-to-4 lane balancer here. Oh, that's a weird one. That's not the one I usually use. Where's the good one? Yep, there it is. There is the good one. There's the one that I've been using since the dawn of time. So we're just going to keep using that. Like that. Alright. Well, what did I do? What the hell did I do? I did some sort of spin. I think I tried to zoom. Yeah, when you hold down shift and you zoom, it actually, and you're holding a blueprint, actually rotates through the blueprints. All right, let's not do that again because I did not want to and I did not mean to. The problem is you have to hold down shift to kill the trees, and when you try and zoom out at the same time, not good. Definitely not good. This would be a very, very short-lived supplemental sapphirite, but what we're going to do is, I think next episode we're just going to build the proper iron mega base structure, and then we will replace these 4 stations with 4 stations of iron, and maybe later on when we switch over to red belts we'll make 2 stations of iron, splitting out red belts, and then this whole section will be a lot simpler because, as we said before, when you sort, you get 4 crushed sapphirite into 2 iron. We could smelt this directly, which is a bit better, I think, because right now this gets basically 1-to-1, but yeah, 1 iron ore to 1 iron ingot, and then that obviously gets divided by 4, which is not too bad to become steel. And we can smelt it actually, so that's the recipe we were originally using way back in the day to get iron. So you get 3-to-2, and then this kind of sorting thing is actually a little bit worse, but you also get copper and slag. When you can sort of turn slag back into ore later on if you really want to, but that's kind of a mess. So we kind of used it because it was nicer, but maybe we shouldn't have used it. Although having said that, that's for sorting iron plate. When you're doing steel, there is no nice way to get steel by using this recipe. You have to use molten steel, or these molten steel of some point. So you pretty much have to get the ingots, which means you have to do the sorting to get iron ore directly. You don't get to use this cheaty way of doing it. But yeah, once we get iron ore directly, then it will be a lot better. And we may start, in the mega base, we'll definitely be doing something like this. We'll be throwing in the coke and the processed iron because it's a much more efficient way of getting iron ingots. And we do have coke. We did set up a station for coke. Obviously it's not working because no fast bulk inserters, but we did set up a station for it, and we'll use that to make even more efficient iron ingots. Let's have a look. Hopefully we're getting, yeah, the number of these bulk inserters is definitely going down. So usually it's a 1-to-1. Here we're dividing it by 2 and then multiplying it by 3. So it's technically we're getting 50% more iron ingots per iron ore, which is great, and all it uses is a little bit of coke, which is, coke is pretty much free as long as you got coal. I also got this iron powder, which I have no idea, and this is like phase 2 of iron ingots, but there's a lot more complicated phases as well to get even more efficient, but we're not going to worry about them. Did you actually finish these guys off? You did, right? Let me just remove some of these annoying trees. Yeah. Beautiful. It's kind of a radar dead spot right here, which I'm not a big fan of, but anyway. Okay. How are our Sapphirite trains going? Oh, we got one train over here loading up. Very nice. So clearly those bulk inserters are starting to make their way around. These stations should be... This one should be activating pretty soon. And we have a look. What's the best way of looking at this train group? I guess you got to go here. This train group. So 2 of them are just waiting at the depot because there is no stations providing this stuff. But this one is now providing, and instantly has got a train. And these 2 should be kicking off fairly soon. Ah, these belts are so slow. I think upgrading to red belts, once we've got iron ore actually coming in to our starter base and our iron problems are solved, and we've got, I'm not going to say an infinite amount of iron ore, but we've got a ton of iron ore just everywhere. That's the point where I think we can start to say, okay, let's go for red belts. Yep. That's the point. Okay, so some of these are set up, some of these aren't. Okay. So how we want to do this, we've already got a balancer over there. So we're just going to make it a 1-to-1 sort of deal. A little trick using the... Where is it? See somewhere, this one. And the right. Basically use that so you don't have those 2 little red things. Do the same thing over here. And input priority is left. So that means we don't use up the stuff from the train if we don't have to. And I'm going to put this down here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Input priority left. Input priority left. Okay, that's taking care of those. And then we'll send this one up to take care of the iron. Hopefully there's enough space to thread a belt through the mess that I've left up here. I think there should be. Well, technically there's 2 belts actually going out and doing iron. Damn, this is all very messy. It is all incredibly messy. Well, we'll see what we can do with this. We could feed it into this belt, because this belt technically feeds both of these guys. I think I'll do that. What the hell? Okay, that's not good. Did not mean to do that. Not sure if you hear that big rumbling sound in the background. That's my washing machine about to take off. But, yeah. Go under these, and then go under these as well, and then we can actually just, these are all dead, so we can just disconnect this, and then this one is going to be input priority right. And technically this one's feeding back to the steel, so we don't actually want to do this here. We want to do like this. God, this is messy. Okay, input priority left, output priority, and the input priority right. Okay, so that's going to take this saffrite ore from all the way over there, and it's going to push it into both of these guys. And it's done. And I think what we might do is we might actually remove all of these, because when we hit up the Jivalite ore, we're going to need a lot of miners. And we might as well just reuse these miners because, you know, why not? Glad these are finally finished picking up the useless. Well, there's still a little bit of stereotype left over, but it hasn't quite wiped out yet. Okay, let's have a look here. Oh, happy days. Happy days. We got all the bulk inserters either built or ready to be built. We got 2 belts of the saffrite ore going through the dark zone, coming down here, and they are now supplementing these belts. Okay. So we no longer have to be worried about this patch running out, although we are prioritizing use of this patch. What is your deal? You're just going directly into here, into the iron. Okay. Yeah, prioritizing these ones, and then this one goes over here. Okay. So a lot of this saffrite is actually going to go very slowly because it's only going into the iron. It's not going into the steel. But that's fine. Absolutely 100% fine. Like this stuff is not even going into steel, it's just going into iron. Alright, so that'll die a very slow death. Which is fine. How much of this did we fill up? Not too much. A decent amount. Alright. So I think we're probably going to be calling it there, to be honest. We've got 2 minutes left on the stream. I don't think this is the moment where we need to start pushing long streams. I think we've done quite a bit. We got crushed stone. Have we actually got crushed stone here? Not yet by the looks of it. We got coal coming out. I forgot to set the recipe on this guy. That's unfortunate. Not that we're in a rush, but... Filter frames. Yep. Yep, we got a whole bunch of those coming in. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the sort of priority situation... I feel like we need this to be a priority splitter at some point. We may even need 2 separate splitters, one to load and one to unload. You know what? Maybe we'll just do that. So this one, we're going to be output priority left the red to make sure. Go rid of that. We'll make these far inserters. Okay. Then we can make each one a priority splitter as we need. We're going to make this one an input priority of right. And then this one... I mean, it is fine. I don't even know if we need to make that an input priority or right, but because we're outputting on a separate side, so I don't think it really matters. Anyway, I've probably got a bunch of filter inserters in my inventory now when the robots get back, but it is what it is. Okay, 3 full belts. We could expand to make more steel belts, but that's not something else to worry about at the moment. The important thing is that when this eventually runs dry, which is getting very close to running dry, that we are absolutely set. And also... How much... Oh, they stack up to 200, don't they? So it's going to be 8k. And somehow we still haven't... I don't think... I'd really love to see this one working. But it will be working. It'll work. I don't feel it's quite enough to stretch the stream to see those guys working. Let's go and fix up these guys though. We're at 38 at the moment. Okay, let's undo the priority of the splitters that we previously prioritized. And that was pretty much power poles we turned off and roboports we turned off. And then something up here we also turned off. Solar panels, yeah. But it's all good. Definitely all good. We need to fix this up at some point. Alright, I think we're going to call the stream there. I think we've definitely done enough for today. And we've saved our base from almost certain destruction and defeat. And yeah, when we get back next week, we will be actually making mineral catalysts for the first time, because we've actually got crushed stone in the system. And we will be getting onto iron ore, which means we will need to tap this jivalite over here, set up an iron ore station right there using the brand new mineral catalyst. And then we'll have iron ore coming out of our ears, and then we will actually be able to sort out our starter base properly, as opposed to the janky sorting out, which we just did. So, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will catch you guys next week.